Hello there, this is Billy. This is part 2 of the project to install a HomeKit using a Sonoff intelligent switch and also add the humidity and temperature sensor. This part we're going to set up the software. So if you've been following the instruction to solder all the cable, we can now start programming. Start from scratch, programming it like a new one. Okay, so first let's go to the screen first. So this is available through Wavefront system. Wavefront system is a hobbyist who has created this library for us to use. So we can go to his ESP HomeKit devices in GitHub. I will show you the link at the YouTube description, so you can go there. So you can just follow through the instructions. First, you need to install, you need to download this binary file for your ESP8266. So let's click and download. Okay, it's downloaded. Let's show where it is. Oh, I've downloaded it a few times, so it's already here. And then we'll need to move it to a place where you can do the firmware upload. Okay, I've done that already, so let's skip that part. Then we need to connect our FTDI adapter. Let me show you where is my FTDI adapter. So this thing is called the FTDI adapter. It will connect your ESP8266 through the serial ports to your computer's USB port. So this is USB, and this side is serial port. Transmit and receive. Okay, so we have hooked it up like I showed you last time using this special socket. Okay, and then next, use the ESP2 to flash the device. Okay. So to write to your ESP8266 for the first time, you have to press and hold this button in the Sonoff switch and then push in your USB connector, and then you can release. Then you can check what is the serial port you have by this command. ls/dev/*cu*. Okay, so this is Bluetooth, this is not our port, this is our port. Okay, so we highlight and Command C to copy it, and then we go to my Sonoff burn shell script. I will give you the link to download. And then go here. This is the port name. You have to delete the original one and then paste it. Okay. So there's one more line to erase the flash, but this one we don't need to use it unless your ESP8266 has been installed before and you want to clean up the previous installation. Okay. Now Ctrl X and Y to save. And then you can run the command by /burn sonoff.shell. Okay, now let's see what happened. Okay, it's erasing and it's not erasing, it's just writing the flash through the FTDI to the ESP8266. Okay. So since we don't have the reset pin tied to this programmer, so we can't reset by itself. We have to unplug the USB and plug it on to reset it. So once you did that, so after we've rebooted the Sonoff switch, we need to go to the Wi-Fi setting here try to look at the available Wi-Fi access point to search for anything starting with HAA-. So if you find it, this is the new Sonoff switch that has been programmed to be a HomeKit device. So let's click on that. It will show you another small window where you can input the configuration called the JSON configuration. So this configuration string tells the Sonoff switch or any ESP8266 device which GPIO to use for the button, for the relay, LED, and also you can configure additional smart device like a humidity sensor, temperature sensor, motion sensor, occupancy sensor. So as long as you got a GPIO pin, it can allow you to configure those sensors, which has been pre-programmed into this HomeKit software. And then we'll need to save the Wi-Fi setting and things like that. But first, let's look at the JSON configuration. So how can we find out what configuration to use? Someone named GLUMB kindly created this configurator called HAA JSON configurator. And let's take a look what is inside. He has created this nice tool for everyone to configure their HomeKits for ESP8266. Okay, so first thing we need to do is we find the switch that we bought. Okay, and you can also start with nothing, that means empty accessory, and then you see the created JSON script here. Okay, so let's start from scratch. Let's refresh. Okay, now we really have nothing. This is empty. Okay, first we need to select our switch. So we purchased the Sonoff Basic, which seems to be this one, Sonoff Standard Switch. There's no basic here, so assume this is the Sonoff Standard Switch. Then next you need to use config. Click the use config. Then you'll find there's some configuration loaded. For example, LED is on pin 13, and a switch is added. Cyclic input means when you click or you press for the first time, it will turn on. When you press for a second time, it will turn off. So it just rotates through on and off. That is cyclic input. Digital input means when you press and hold it, it is on. As soon as you release it, it's going back to off. So this is digital input. And then you have the output. Output is that relay or that LED you want to turn on or turn off based on the switch, the button that you selected before. And you need to tell the system what is the pin number of the ESP8266. For example, here is 12, that means GPIO 12 will be used to configure whether it's on or off. And then you need to tell whether you want to turn it to a logic of high or low. So here we check active low, that means it's inverted. When you want it to turn on into this stage, you actually want to output a logic low to that pin. If you don't check it, it will output logic high. Okay. So let's go back and check again. So we have the GPIO 0 in a standard Sonoff basic switch. GPIO 0 is for the button on board of that switch. Okay, let me show you. Okay, let me show you this one. Okay, and then we can do it together. So start from the beginning. We have this Sonoff basic standard switch here, and the LED pin is 13. That means this LED is pin 13. And then we have the cyclic input buttons, GPIO0, that means this button that I'm clicking now is the GPIO0, pin 0. Okay. And we have no digital input. Okay, we have a digital output, which is the relay, this black thing here, relay, and we connect to here to turn things on and off. And the relay is connected to GPIO12, so it's driven by GPIO12 of the ESP8266. Okay, when we want to turn it on, we output a high value. Okay, and we want to turn it off, we output a low value because the active low is checked. That means off is low, on is high, logic high on GPIO12. Okay. So that's the basic switch. But we can't stop here. We have added the DHT22 humidity and temperature sensor. So how can we add it? It's simple. So you go down to here, add accessory. What are we trying to add? Another switch. That means another button. Or we want to add some sensor. So there are a lot of different sensors: motion sensor, water sensor, thermostat, thermometer, humidity sensor, or this combined thermometer and humidity sensor. That means temperature and humidity sensor, which is what we want. Okay, and then we click add accessory. So there's a sensor type. What is the sensor we're trying to add? The one we have is DHT22. And you can also add this type if you have the other type of module. Okay, so let's click on DHT22. And then we have to input the pin number to drive that DHT22. So we have solder it to pin 14, GPIO 14. So let's select pin 14 here. Okay, and then there's a polling interval. That means how often do you want to measure the temperature and humidity, and then send it to the ESP8266. So by default, it's 30 seconds if you click the add button, but you can change it to 60 seconds or something like that. But I'll keep it at 30 seconds. I think the maximum you can, let me see what is the maximum. The maximum can be a number of minutes, more than 999. Wow, so many seconds. So let's put it back to 30 seconds. Okay, and then you can, if you find your module is not accurate, it tends to go up by 0.7 Celsius, something like that. You can adjust it here. Go up and go down. That means the offset. Okay, if there's nothing, just 0. Or remove. So this is remove. Okay, if you don't want to change, just remove. And this is sensor error output. If there's a sensor error output to this pin, that means the LED or something will light up when there's a sensor error. That means the sensor is either loosened, taken out of the socket, or it's burned, it's black. Yeah, but we don't need it, so let's remove it. Okay, let's check what JSON value this has created. If you want to know what this command means, then you can go to the GitHub for the HomeKit accessory architect, the Raven system one. There's a documentation to show you what this code means, what C means, what A means. Right, but it's important here, what we just need to do is to copy and paste everything. From line 1, or highlight all the way to last line, and then Command C to copy. Okay. Copy it all, and then let's bring back our HomeKit accessory architect installer. So let's Command V to paste everything back. You want to check that it's complete. You should start with a brace, open brace, and then a C, and then finish with another close brace. Okay, and it will always be in column 1. If you find something in the other columns, that means it's not complete. Right? So it starts with column 1 and ends with a brace in column 1. Okay, once you check it's complete, you can go down and refresh your Wi-Fi network. You scan your Wi-Fi again. Okay, and then pick the home Wi-Fi you're using. Click this lock there to select. And then what you need to do is enter the password to log into your home Wi-Fi. Make sure you put in the right case. If you type this one incorrectly, you will need to restart from beginning, and then you need to empty the flash first. Okay. So the last thing you need to click is scroll up again, find this green save button, click it once, and then you'll get a warning. This is an HTTP, not HTTPS, so it's insecure, but we know we are connecting to our own device, so let's send. Then after a few seconds, this screen will close down by itself, but before that, don't click this button. Don't close it down because it's doing something. It's going to turn the module to a self-flash update through the wireless network. We call it OTA, over the air firmware upgrade. So when this thing finishes, it will close itself, and then you need to wait around 7 minutes, depending on the speed of your ESP8266. Some people have 5 minutes, some people have 7 minutes, depends on the speed of your Wi-Fi as well, because what it's trying to do is to go back to our Raven system here to download the latest firmware. Okay, not this one. This one is just the boot starter to allow us to get to that screen. There's a much bigger binary file. It is downloading through the air, through the internet, from GitHub, from here. It's a stage 2 binary file. It's downloading to put the necessary software into the ESP8266 to turn it into an Apple HomeKit device. So let's be patient, wait about 7 minutes to be sure. Don't touch the power of the ESP module, don't click anything, just leave it untouched. Right? Don't let the cat and dog walk around, don't let the babies walk around. Right? So how do you know when this is ready? Okay, so on your Apple iPhone, so you need to first install this HomeKit. You can install it. It should come by default from the new phone, but if you lost it, just go back to App Store and search for Home, and then you'll find it. Okay, only the one from Apple computer, because there are so many different ones. So only this one from Apple computer is the right one. Other ones are just different type of software. Okay, so once you are in here, if you have nothing, you can click the plus button here to add a new device, and then you can say add a new device. Then it will prompt you whether you want to add a new device that is not automated. That means you have to manually install it. So click the button at the bottom, and it will try to scan in your Wi-Fi network whether there's any device not yet paired. So those devices already paired, already configured with your HomeKit, they won't appear. Only the new device will appear. So if you find that it's spinning hard, that means the Sonoff switch is not yet ready. It's not yet finished downloading the software, not yet turned into a HomeKit device. So let's be patient. Let's come back in another 5 minutes, and then After waiting for around 7 minutes, you can try to search add new device, right, and try to search for the device. You see, this is the device here, HAA something. So let's click on it. And this is not a certified device. Do you want to force install it anyway? So yes. And then at this point in time, you need to have a setup code. So you need to go back to the installation step that we talked about. Scroll all the way until you see this QR code or this setup code. You can either input the setup code by pressing the right digits on the phone, or you can click use camera and then scan the QR code off that page. Once you finish scanning, you will start configuring the HomeKit, which is your ESP8266 Sonoff switch. You will start configuring it to add to your home as a HomeKit device. Okay, it will need around 3 or 4 minutes. Let's wait. Okay, actually it's done in 1 minute. Then you need to select which room you want to add it to. So I add it to my bedroom and then continue. And then it will ask you to name the device. You can name it whatever you want for the lights. So for this one, I'm using it as a light. So I will name it lights. And then I will select the light symbol to show up the light icon and continue. And then I don't need automation, so finish adding. Then I go on to add another device. This time is the sensors. Okay, again add in my bedroom. So this is the name of the sensor. I don't want to change it. So it's adding 2 sensors. First one is the humidity sensor. The second one is the temperature sensor. Okay, and done. You can see it's already added. Temperature is showing up here. Let me zoom into the screen. Temperature is added. Temperature 21.5 Celsius, humidity 53%, and there's a light, so when I press it, it turns on the lights. Press it again, it turns off the lights. I can also press my wall button, press and release once, you turn it on, and then the iPhone screen also updated with the lights on. And I turn it off, lights off. Okay. So what else we can do? We can also ask Siri to turn off the lights. 閂大房燈。
好嘅，燈熄咗。
Okay, I just turn it off, but I should ask it to turn it on. 開大房燈。
你係咪想我喺你嘅我的住家屋企調校一啲嘢？
開大房燈。
好嘅，燈開咗。
Okay. I'm asking whether the light is on or off. 大房燈係咪開咗？大房燈係咪開咗？
你嘅燈開咗咗。
There's some bug. It says the light is on instead of the light is on. Okay. But overall it works fine. And the next step is I will okay. Just tape. Let's see. So this is the sensor, this is the door, the lights, and then finally we need to mount this one somewhere here. Now this thing only works if you have both the neutral wire and the live wire on your wall plates. If you don't have that, you may need to find another type of Sonoff switches that works without a neutral wire. But the configuration and setup should be similar to what I'm showing you here. Only that you need to have that special model that support a single wire switch. So this is how it looks when mounted on the wall. So this is the humidity and temperature sensor, and this is the light switch. Okay, now I can use the light switch to control my lights, and I can also use the HomeKit, and I can also use Siri. So that's all for today. Later on, we can also add the motion sensor or occupancy sensor, so we can automatically turn on or turn off the lights.